Welcome to episode 120 of Seddy Bimco, America's foremost revenge-themed podcast, where we craft revenge sequels to movies that never had them. You're joining us in the midst of our tour of the 50 nifty United States. Today's installment, none other than Delaware. I learned a lot about Delaware this week, and the movie for Delaware is, do we say that part up front? Mayor Cupcake.
Yeah, Mayor Cupcake. It's amazing.
Yep. My co-host Tim Hamilton. He's relaxed. He's ready. He's got an old age question. Not an age old, an old age question, because his references are old and wrinkly.
No, you inspired me last week.
Ooh, let's hear.
Oh, my age old question. Did
old
Mayor
age
McCheese, Mayor McCheese, I guess he's mayor of McDonald land? I don't know where he lives. But
it used to be. There's a story behind that.
Mayor McCheese.
Recall election.
Yes. Did he ever get revenge on his bigoted political rival who spread the rumor that McCheese was anti-trans fat? Yeah, his rival, candidate McNuggets, who spread that rumor like mayo. Come on, I got more.
Oh.
That's it, really. We'll play the song.
It's Seddy Bimco Part 2, The Revenge. The show where we create revenge sequels that nobody wanted.
So the McDonaldland characters, we know that they had at least mayors and chief of police, Big Mac and stuff, but the mayor seems to indicate a democracy, whereas the chief rival of McDonald's was the Burger King, a monarchy.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Wow. That's so deep. What about Red Barn?
It is pretty deep. I don't
know Red Barn.
That must be an upstate New York thing only, because that doesn't.
Yeah, it's gone.
Like there's Wendy's.
They had no rulers.
She's just a dictator.
I think so.
And then we had Anarchy Burgers. Did you have that?
No.
Oh,
there's White Castle. Into the jar? Who's the king of White Castle?
Oh,
who's the queen of White Castle?
Do you think the Burger King lives in White Castle? I think the Burger King doesn't prefer women. Yeah.
What's with the kings and I don't know. That's weird. Weird.
It's weird.
Yeah, but this is Seddy Bimco, Part 2, The Revenge. And every week we pick a number out of a jar because this movie we watched called Mayor Cupcake. We're going to ask who from this movie would be most likely to do something. Ooh, 26.
Number 26 is what on our list, Tim?
So who from this movie would be most likely to start their day with the distinct feeling that they are in North Korea?
Okay. That's a weird one. Nice.
So to keep
this is good listening.
I know you're gonna have a lot to talk about, but I just want to say to keep our radio license, once every 2 years we have to either talk about a Lawrence Welk episode or a Lifetime movie, and we chose Lifetime movie. Although I don't know if it really aired on Lifetime, but it could have aired on Lifetime.
And I just want to wish it to be said.
This won't be bad.
Wait.
Yeah.
Just want to tell people I have no idea who Lawrence Welk is, and I think Tim is having an episode.
You don't know?
Okay.
You do know. I didn't hear what you said.
Is he a singer?
He just conducts. His whole show, he just does the little wands, and everybody plays horns and organs. You know, he goes, and a one, and a two. Yeah, his show was on for 50 years.
And he had a TV show just doing that. No, of course not, Tim.
They joke about him. Tim. He goes, and a one, and a two, and they start playing some dance song from 1929.
Wait, Tim.
I never
watched it. Where do they joke about this? Where do they joke about this, Tim? Name one place where I, as a person who's not 900 years old, would have seen a Lawrence Welk joke. Because I'll tell you.
I think they're on Young Sheldon.
I don't think they joke about him in The Simpsons.
Young Sheldon. It's all Lawrence Welk jokes.
That's your Lawrence Welk, yeah. Let's talk a little bit about Delaware and the problems of Delaware.
Their flag, big problem.
So
start there. It's a mess.
Oh, what is their flag?
It's got a rope and a boat.
What?
A guy with corn, a guy with a gun, a guy with a musket. It's too much. It's too complicated.
Actually, that kind of looks. I'll be honest, that kind of looks like the New York State seal. I can't diss that. Look up New York State seal. It looks the same.
Well, they're all a mess. They're all a mess. Simple.
Yeah. Well, here's my prompt. So let's give some facts about Delaware. But before, I want to talk about my personal plight with Delaware. So as you know, dear listeners and Tim, we're going through the 50 Nifty. I've been trying. I skipped around a little bit with sometimes when I have a really great idea, but mostly I'm trying to keep it more or less alphabetical. Delaware has been a real problem because there's various lists that Tim and I have found of like states where movies are filmed. And like even like fucking obscure states like have like a litany of movies in them. And Delaware just doesn't have a lot.
Nope.
Not a lot was filmed there. I had to eventually and I skipped this a couple times. I eventually had to resort to skulking around the Reddit Delaware boards and asking questions of people. Hey, does anyone know any films filmed in Delaware? And this one, which does not have a Wikipedia entry, which is kind of surprising.
That's weird.
Right? Because it's...
Yeah. I wanted to know some things.
Me too. And I did find some stuff. I'll talk about it. But so finally found this movie, Mayor Cupcake. Before we get too much in Mayor Cupcake, I want to share some facts I gleaned about Delaware. So Delaware, Tim, did you know this? It's the first state.
Yep, I saw that.
Yep.
That's
their logo.
Motto,
they were the
right?
first. Yeah. Its other motto is the first state and America's front porch. I'm like, wow. Because packages get stolen from it or something.
Right.
Let's see.
Oh, it's also the Pickle Lane state, by the way.
Is it really?
Pickle Lane. Yep, I read that.
Is that a joke or?
No, that's what I read.
Why Pickle Lane? What does that mean? Are they talking like politically? Because they're pretty blue.
Well, it could mean anything.
Could mean.
Like
I mean,
M&Ms,
traffic is a major problem in this.
With
M&Ms.
nuts or not with nuts? Pickle Lane, that kind of thing.
Why is everything with nuts with you?
Some people can't decide.
Let's see. So Delaware became a state in December 7th, 1787.
Yep.
Its capital is Dover.
Yep. All the books are made.
Yep.
Dover books.
It's most Dover books. And there's also the famous cryptid, the Dover Demon, which I was excited thinking that was from Dover, but apparently that's from Dover, Massachusetts. So no. Its most populous state is Wilmington. Most populous city, I should say. Yep. It is the second smallest state in terms of size.
Size.
People, it's pretty small. It's only there's only about 1 million people in the entire state.
Whoa!
And I found we should move there. But this is what's funny, Tim. You go onto like one of the the tourism sites, the official tourism sites for Delaware. They brag about the fact that it is home to 2 million chickens.
Ooh, I don't mind.
So chickens outnumber people 2-1 here.
Think I hate chickens?
No, I know you love chickens, actually. I know there was a period of time you made tours in the neighborhood of all the different chicken coops.
Yes, that's right. That's true.
Yeah, it is. That was a thing you went. No, it's not. That was a thing. You seem to don't do that anymore, but there was a period of time you were very delighted by chickens. But I thought it was interesting that they bragged about the fact that there's twice as many chickens as humans.
That is odd.
I'll say this, too. If it comes down to some sort of weird race war between humans and chickens, I'm still putting my money on the humans. I'm pretty confident. Even the most infirm Delawarean could take out 2 chickens. So I think the chickens should just fucking watch their backs.
Do you think they found out that fear of chickens exists in 90% of the population, and they decided this way they'll keep a lot of people out, keep their low number?
Oh, you think that's the thing they're trying to keep?
Yes.
Trying to keep people out? Yeah. I think that probably is what happened. I want to talk something else about Delaware, Tim.
Their state bird, the blue hen.
Oh, I didn't. Wait, really? Is it one of the 2 million chickens?
It's called the blue hen. The state fish is the weak fish.
Oh, yeah. That's
spelled W-E-A-K. That's what it is.
Yeah, that's right. It's weak.
Sorry. So what are you going to say?
Beat up by chickens. Okay. So I was poking around on the DC comic book, the Atlas of the DC Universe.
Yeah.
According to that, Superman's home city of Metropolis is located in Delaware.
No.
Also, well, that's what it says in the Atlas. Also, Tim, according to that, Metropolis is a metropolis of 7 million people. So that means in DC Universe, they have a fake ass city that has a population that is 7 times the existing population of Delaware.
Right.
So the DC universe is clearly like some sort of like Mega City 1 hellscape where the cities are out of control.
Stupid comics.
It is stupid. I mean, I've probably complained about this before. It fucking bugs me to no end in DC that there is a New York, a Gotham, and a Metropolis. No. You know what? In the DC universe, Gotham is called New York. I mean, New York is called Gotham, and Chicago is called Metropolis. Let's just do that.
And they put Atlantis in the Pacific Ocean. What's with that?
Did they really? That's fucking outrageous.
It's my joke.
DC Comics. Oh, okay. That's a good joke.
I had an editor who did that by accident. He corrected it. He noticed he did that.
Who is the editors? Call them out.
Naming. That's it for Delaware. Their slogan is Endless Discoveries.
Oh, I didn't catch that. That's
but we know that the Discoveries is going to be endless chickens from what they tell us. I don't know what kind of endless discovery that is.
And also we know it's only 2 million chickens, so there is in fact an end to those discoveries. Can I talk a little bit about Bridgeville?
Oh my God, yeah, if you want.
All right, so...
There's not much to say about this movie.
Well, exactly. Bridgeville, which is the setting for this movie. Did you see, Tim? It's a real place.
Yeah, I read that.
Okay, yeah, it's a real city of 2,000 people. It's pretty damn small, apparently. It used to be the strawberry growing capital of the country, but then it wasn't. The opening of the movie talks about some of the great events that happen in this town of Bridgeville.
Did Mark Twain die
including
there?
The apples. Mark Twain did not die there. Mark Twain, of course, we know still lives because he's a frequent guest on this podcast.
He is.
They mentioned the Apple Scrapple Festival, which is a real thing, but nobody, even though I've seen this on 5 or 6 websites, nobody has ever stopped to define what Apple Scrapple is. And I got so annoyed with this, I decided I wasn't going to look up what Apple Scrapple is. So I know that the Apple Scrapple Festival is held there every single year. I don't know what Apple Scrapple is.
Well, they mentioned it in the movie, and we never see it.
They never explain it either. We never see it either. Everyone just acts like Apple Scrapple's a thing we should know. I'm like, maybe if you fucking live in Bridgeville, you do, but there's only 2,000 of you. They mentioned the Pumpkin Chunkin' Festival, and the Pumpkin Chunkin' Festival was held there until 2013. Now it's held in Oklahoma.
Damn it!
And that is when they use catapults so you could throw pumpkins the longest way. And it's pretty funny on like the Pumpkin Chunkin' website. They talk about various logistical issues made them have to cancel it a bunch of times until it resurfaced in Oklahoma. I think somebody got killed by a pumpkin.
Yep, I do too.
Or at least somebody's car got fucked up.
There'll be revenge sequels at the end of this film to talk about that. Stick around, people. Stick around, people. Yeah. I'm relaxed.
This is pretty exciting too. And the town of Bridgeville every year holds an outdoor movie night. It's actually we're recording this only a day away from when it's being held this year on July 19th. Tim, do you know what the movie is? They record.
Jaws.
Guess what the movie is? No.
Jaws.
Mayor Cupcake.
Mayor Cupcake. Oh, that's right.
Is that crazy?
That is crazy.
And the final bit of thing is I wrote a letter to the Bridgeville Historical Society inquiring after them if they could tell me if Bridgeville has ever had an elevator or a streetcar. As of recording, no one has written back yet, but I will say this.
So much research.
The first streetcar in Delaware was in 1864.
We saw them in the opening credits. They had old pictures. I was watching.
Yeah, I know. That's one of the reasons I was intrigued. I'm like, but I couldn't find anything about Bridgeville. And so I wrote to the society. We'll see. Maybe in a future episode we can amend. And the first elevator, nobody's really sure when the first elevator in Delaware was. But on the Reddit Delaware, they're like, try the DuPont building. I don't know what city that's in.
They built an experimental
that was 1908.
one, but they accidentally launched a giant pumpkin into it and knocked it over. That's what happened.
or perhaps the first elevator does a catapult that throws pumpkins count as an elevator? Maybe because it isn't just catapults. It's crossbows and trebuchets and all these other things. Why not an elevator? It just kind of shoots up quickly and stops. The pumpkin flies through the air.
They built another one, and what happened was chickens were drawn to it. They just flocked into that car. They'd ride it up and down until they busted it. That's what happened.
And everybody gets really nervous. They're like, there's twice as many chickens as us. I'm not sure we could take them in a fight. If only we had Superman here. And luckily some DC editors like, yeah, sure, Metropolis is in your fucking state that's got 1 million people. You got a city the size of New York in there. Sure. Yeah. I'm mad about that one.
We talk about the movie yet?
I am mad about that.
Go to it?
Sure. Let's talk. All right, let's talk about the movie.
This movie.
This movie, Mayor Cupcake.
So
I have a question.
Hey, I tried my best, George. I will warn you up ahead. This just has a lot of poop jokes.
Oh, no. Well, let me do the really quick synopsis then in 2 lines.
You'd be happy.
No, I'll do it good. I am excited about your poop jokes. I'm going to give the synopsis. Mayor Cupcake is the PG-rated movie of a woman named Mary Maroney who is famous in her small town of 2,000 people for making cupcakes. And as a joke or to fulfill a homework assignment, her daughter places her on the ballot running against the incumbent mayor of the town, who runs unopposed every year. Unfortunately, the mayor dies in a scene of shocking violence, and this woman by default becomes the mayor, discovers the town has been run by corruption for years, and makes various sensible changes to governing in order to become a better mayor. That's what else did you add? I think they're mostly set. Well, I mean, there's nothing outrageous. There's not like
we'll just get to it.
You would think with Mayor Cupcake, she'd have like a bake sale to save it. She never does that. It's stuff like, turn off the lights.
Oh, that's right.
Sell the cop cars.
Well, that's her job. That's her job.
I'm just saying. The movie stars Judd Nelson, Leah Thompson, noted duck fucker, Leah Thompson.
What? Oh, that's right. Not with the duck.
And Judd, for those who don't know, she played Beverly. Yep, Judd Nelson from Breakfast Club and stuff. Sporting a mustache as a cop. I thought he looked good with the mustache.
No. Not me.
Yep. I also thought he wasn't going to have a line in this movie because he is in the movie for a long time before he speaks.
I thought there was going to be weird. There are weird things, but we'll get to that. This
movie is plenty weird. All right, so you want to start? I took no notes.
You know what I'm going to talk about, Leah. It's something we can talk about. That she once had a TV show in the 90s called a Kathy-like comic
Caroline in the
City, and she plays a cartoonist drawing a newspaper strip, I believe.
Yep.
And we talk about a few other shows about comic creators. And did you notice the one mistake they all had that you're like, what? That's not how that goes. Because they're pretty good at the rest of it. Was there one thing that bothered you? They all draw in their living room. Like, I'm drawing here in my living room, like with everything else. Number one, if you work at home, you have a place to get your tax deduction. It's like your business office or your corner of the room.
Or at least you claim you do.
Yes. But you don't draw in your living room with your kids and your parent and like food. You put it somewhere else on all these shows just so they can be on the same stage. They're like drawn in their living room, but just something. And
what are some of these other shows, Tim? Caroline in the City, where it was Leah Thompson as a cartoonist.
Too Close for Comfort, which was a show that
Ted Knight.
Ted Knight spun off from. It wasn't a spin-off, but he was done with being on Mary Tyler Moore, and he got his own show based on a British show called Keep It in the Family. The same concept, where he drew a comic, and his 2 daughters lived upstairs, and he drew a comic called Cosmic Cow. And he didn't
draw. And the British version was it Andy Capp?
Yes. Which is the British spin-off of the Lockhorns, the American Lockhorns comic. So it's all cycle.
Welcome back to Seddy Bimco, Lockhorns.
But he would draw with the puppet on his hand. So also, even as a kid, I'm like, really? You draw with the puppet on your hand of Cosmic Cow?
Wait,
he did that.
Is that true?
Yeah, on the show. You look at it. When he draws the comic, he talks to the puppet on his hand. It's a fluffy Cosmic Cow.
Are you kidding me?
No, it's part of the joke.
Does he have a dissociative personality disorder?
I think so. He never knows that his daughter's best friend is a gay man because he's if you watch the show, it's the 80s. So it's that character that can't say he's gay, but he does things. You're like, yeah, you're gay. You're that funny gay guy. You know, that whole trope. You just can't come out and say it because he was gay in real life. And you're like, yeah, we know that. And you can't say it because it's the 80s.
Ted Knight was gay?
No, his daughter's friend.
His daughter was gay. Oh, the cow. The cow was gay.
Yes, the cow was gay. He was so popular, George. I have a surprise for you. Ted Knight, who's on the Mary Tyler Moore show, he recorded an album in the 70s.
Oh, this might be true.
No, well, I got a clip for you. Want me to play the? I can do fancy things called media. So here's just a clip.
Let's play the clip.
Of a song called Barbara about Barbara Walters. See, can you hear this?
What the fuck? Oh, I can.
Barbara Walters, the girl who interviews on the air. Good news, bad news. Oh, how I enjoy it. I'd love to watch her sitting there.
Anyway, that's his
I'm
voice.
just wild for Barbara Walters, the queen of early
What
rock.
is this? Yeah.
Okay.
I never thought I'd
Oh my god.
So
Why does he sounds like he is the drunkest man I've ever heard?
that was his shtick. That's how he sounded.
His shtick was acting drunk
Well, he's a newscaster, and he was always like, "I'm great.
in real life.
No, he's a newscaster on Mary Tyler Moore, and that's how he talked. He's like, "Hello, this is Ted Baxter with the news. This is Ted Baxter with the news. I can't do it."
All right.
Anyway, all right. Bob Newhart was on a show called Bob, where he drew a character called Mad Dog.
Oh,
I sent you a clip of that.
that's what that. Yep, there was literally, and as we are recording today, unfortunately, Bob Newhart has passed away just today.
Oh, I know. Very sad. You're not sad. I'm
Yep.
sad.
I'm sad.
I watched him.
I
You didn't
literally
watch him.
just within the last week, I just watched The Rescuers, the Disney cartoon.
Oh, well, name one character on the Bob Newhart 70s show. Name one character besides Bob.
Bob,
I said besides Bob.
Daryl, and Daryl.
All right.
That was from the 80s one.
That was from the 80s show.
Yeah.
James Thurber had a TV show made about him called My World
yep.
and Welcome to It. Did you watch the episode I sent you? You did?
I did not. No, Tim.
Because it depicts him as a horrible, horrible person. He's married, and he talks to the camera about how much he hates his wife. That she makes him say honey and sweetie and these horrible things. That's why he hates women. And when she walks out the door, he imagines a cartoon he drew of her hanging. I'm not making that up.
I do know that this only ran. It was one season, right? And I think I could tell why.
And he drew this ugly cartoon. His wife is like, "Who's that?" So, well, it's our daughter. She's got these ugly feet. She's got these braces. You know, who knows? Maybe she'll grow up and be pretty someday. He's like totally unlikable character. Maybe that's I don't know much about
on this TV show.
Oh, I didn't do that research because you don't know these old actors, so I didn't look that up.
It was,
there were other shows, but it's been half an hour.
William Wyndham.
Yeah.
Yep.
Do I have anything else?
Hey, that's interesting. He is in the show. He is a Thurber-like writer and cartoonist who works for a magazine closely resembling the New Yorker called the Manhattanite.
Yep.
Tim, you work for the New Yorker.
I told you. I was once a clue on Jeopardy, so I'm almost like a cartoonist who had a TV show. Yeah.
What if you had a TV show, Tim? What would it be called, and who would play you?
Well, I call it Boner's Ark.
And who plays you?
Who's probably the old Sheldon?
Old Sheldon.
Whoever that actor is. That old Sheldon.
That guy?
No, someone from Star Trek.
Lieutenant Barkley.
Wesley, older Wesley. And he would draw Boner's Ark, and the whole catchphrase for every show is that he's saying goodbye to his neighbor. He's like, "I gotta go draw," and he's going to say Boner's Ark. And the door shuts all the time, so it says, "I gotta go draw boners," and the door shuts so the neighbor doesn't hear it. And that's the big laugh. Like another episode, he's eating his lunch, saying, "Well, I gotta go draw," and he swallows, and he starts to choke just as he says, "I gotta draw boners," then he chokes. And the audience laughs.
There's that one where he's addressing a room full of young children, and he suddenly gets an idea, and he goes, "I got a boner," and then he just falls off the stage. Yeah, that's the last episode.
You twisted that right.
It ends with Tim Hamilton being arrested.
Yes, you twisted that somewhere.
I love. This is such a good. We're like a half hour into this podcast. We haven't said shit about Mayor Cupcake.
Because there's not much to it.
Well, all right, let's talk about the movie. It's so funny. You were so excited about talking about all these various comic strip-related things. I want to stress to everybody, the actual movie of Mayor Cupcake has nothing comic strippy in it at all.
Just Leah Thompson, who once had a show about
except for
being
it's
a
got
cartoonist.
Leah Thompson, who plays Caroline in the City.
I said I was angry. If you do watch Caroline in the City, the other inaccuracy is she hires someone to color her comic, which is relatively, that's real. But he shows up and he's like, "Okay, this is my full-time job." I watched the episode. That's his full-time job. And to come to her place and do it, which if you color comics, you're like doing a lot of different jobs. You're not just like coloring one lady's comic strip. Although if it was Peanuts, maybe he could afford to pay with someone full time.
Hey, man, and that show, I know there was an episode where her character of Caroline in the City is made into a Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. So she is apparently a Charles Schulz level cartoonist. So, yeah, she probably does. And if I recall correctly about that show, he was a bit of a romantic interest.
Yeah.
We probably didn't see it, but she probably made him work nude.
Yes.
Yeah, she'd be like, yeah. Can you reach up on that top shelf and get me down those books? He's like, I think that's degrading.
He was narcoleptic. So sometimes he said, I have this great idea for my own comic. It's called Boners, and it was going to be a Boners arc, but he falls asleep as he says Boners.
and then she
has
like,
to kick him out.
Huh? No, she's excited by it.
Oh, no. That's not a good thing.
Tell me more about those boners. And he like, I meant boners, and then he falls asleep again.
She had to fire him.
She's like, I know you meant boners. It just goes on and on. This show ran for 5 seasons and was after Friends. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Mayor Cupcake. Okay.
Judd Nelson, St. Elmo's Fire, Leah.
Yep. Leah Thompson. Leah Thompson's real life daughters playing her daughters with Judd Nelson. Did you catch that?
Yep. Those are real daughters.
Yep. Well, 2 of them were. A third one wasn't.
Ooh.
But she has 3 daughters. They all beat her up. They beat that kid up in the parking lot in between takes.
But Judd Nelson was in sorry. Notice that kid what? You tell me. What'd that kid do?
That kid progressively had more bandages on their face as the movie progressed.
That's true.
The other girls kept stepping on her with stilettos.
Look like Marv. Whatever. But Judd Nelson.
Marv, exactly.
Judd Nelson, I didn't know this, in 2012, he was in a movie based on a graphic novel I never heard of. It's called Bad Kids Go to Hell. Never heard of it.
Is that true?
Yep, that's true. Never heard of the graphic novel. If it were a joke, I would have made up a funny name for the graphic.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard some of your jokes. That's on par.
Yeah, okay.
When you float a real stinker like that, you're normally like, it's McGillicuddy did it.
So this movie does say they're famous for pumpkin chucking, and also the scrapple that we never see, and also
whatever apple scrapple is,
pancake house that we never see. They say that too. It's like the famous pancakes. This whole town is just sugar and pancakes, sugar and fat. So Mary Maloney, and it took me a while to realize she doesn't even own the place that makes the cupcakes. Oh, I didn't even realize that now.
Yeah, that guy with the mustache and beard does. Like, she just works there and just makes cupcakes, and every day people wait online. And we see this one guy who's dressed all in black named Bart. I couldn't figure out what the hell his deal was. He walks up, he looks in the window. She says she still has like 12 dozen cupcakes left. He does this shrug and walks into the line because it's like
I think
big
one
thing.
was
and people
named after him. Isn't that the thing?
No, he wanted one to be named after him. That was kind of the... Because various cupcakes are named after various people in the town. And like, I did think of making a list, but you know what, Tim? I didn't make a list. I'm sure you did, right?
I got some lists.
Yeah, your list is like the Mark Twain,
No, not for this. I've got other lists.
No. Okay.
His cupcake name? Yeah, for him. I don't know what it would be.
Yeah. Well, at the end of the movie, he gets one.
Okay, we'll get there. Don't spoil it, George.
Yeah.
Don't spoil it. I forget.
So anyway, yeah. So look, folks, I apologize. I see Tim is all pepped up on something. This is like we're having a harder time getting through this plot. We're still in the opening
to talk about.
No, this is what there is. So,
I looked up Mayor
Shut
Cupcake.
up. No, shut up.
Urban Dictionary? I looked up Mayor Cupcake. You know what it means in the Urban Dictionary? It says the meaning of Mayor Cupcake is when you put guacamole in someone's top hat and put it on top of their head.
That makes sense because guacamole and cupcakes have a lot to do with everything. Yeah. All right.
Or it's when you throw up on your bowling ball.
Also, cupcakes. Yeah, these are good. Come on, you could have gotten dirtier than that, Tim. You're being very clean. This movie, by the way, folks, is so very clean. And my question is, Tim, who is the audience for this movie?
I don't know. It
was rated PG, which I was like,
it means it was released?
Yeah, it also got a theatrical release.
Whoa. Wow.
I know. And I will say this. It kind of... I did actually enjoy this film, though I'm not the target audience for it. And I think the target audience for this is Leah Thompson and her daughters.
I think so.
That's it. And Judd Nelson, maybe. So Leah Thompson has 3 daughters. She is this famous baker in this town of 2,000 people. Judd Nelson is one of the cops.
And we see her in her shop, and there's a mayor. He's in the shop because there's an election. His name is Bloodletting or Bloodworth or Blood.
It was like blood fart.
We'll get to it. And he's like, I can't wait to be mayor. Give me 12 cupcakes. Yep. That's basically his part. So we know there's an election.
No, he has a good scene shortly.
I know.
Yeah.
There's going to be an election. The antique store, she wants to buy a plane from him. And he's like, I don't sell my stuff. That's his whole hang up. He has an antique store. His name is
so
Quail.
let's just really quickly.
Quail.
The wacky characters. Yeah, there's Quail, who is a guy who runs an antique store who won't ever sell anything because he loves it too much.
There's
her husband, the cop.
Yep.
When the cop gets upset, he recites the names of the presidents, starting the beginning. It's like Washington, Adams, Jefferson. And like that's his way of like calming down.
Yeah.
He also plays the harmonica in the bathroom by himself.
We'll get to that.
There is
her one daughter wants to play
dressed all in black.
All in black. He rides a bike.
The guy just all black rides a bike around, and he's obsessed with the fact that this town has set up a speed trap, which keeps giving speeding tickets to anyone who goes 5 miles over the limit of people passing through town. And his idea is like, this is killing the town. Like, it's like nobody will come and shop because
I got this candy business, hard candy shop called the White Van. That's his shop's name. She has a daughter who wants to play football, a daughter who wants to be in politics, and a daughter who is in a band called Noise.
Yep. I will say, does the daughter want to be in politics? She's actually failing her civics class, and that's how she gets on the... I don't think she wants to. I think she's the daughter who's just like the pretty one who's into like social media.
And she puts her mom's name on the list to be mayor, and because no one's going to vote for her. And the mom wants her name taken off, and the coach says no, or it's social pass, and no one's going to vote for you anyway.
The coach is also the teacher, yeah.
Lady, no one's going to vote for you, lady, because the mayor has crooked people who are like, they show them like, yeah, we got to get elected so we can skim money off of the top of the budget. They show us that.
But do we kind of don't see it right up the front. The mayor has a couple people that work with him. There's the coach himself. The coach himself works with the mayor. Mm-hmm. The mayor has a daughter who has a vicious bowl cut that we see her literally cutting her hair a few times. There's his mayor's assistant, who's a guy named Grundle, who looks like a young, like Gomez Adams sort of guy.
He sells cars, I think.
I think that makes sense.
Is his name Greg Grundle?
That sounds right.
Okay.
It's definitely Grundle, because I know a Grundle is a dirty... what is a Grundle in Urban Dictionary, Tim?
That's where you poop a solid poop and then poop some diarrhea on top of it.
Actually...
also known as a mayor cupcake.
Also, it's also really... It's the perineum. It's the taint.
Oh,
That's another word for the Grundle. Yeah, so I thought that was kind of edgy. They named this guy...
Yeah, wow. The Grundle. That's edgy. Told you, this movie has depth.
So, any other wacky characters?
No. She goes home and she's like, I'm sad. I don't want to be mayor. And the husband still doesn't talk, by the way. Judd hasn't talked. He gets up. He goes in the bathroom.
It's very odd. Yeah.
Starts playing the harmonica in the bathroom. And we never learn why. We do not. It's just spoilers. We never learn why, unless I missed it.
No, they say why.
Oh, no. Okay. Well, at this point, I wrote a list of reasons why Judd Nelson plays harmonica while he's sitting on the toilet. Because they show him sitting on the toilet. And
I should say, Judd Nelson has been in multiple scenes at this point, but like we've seen him smile and stuff. People talk to him and he just smiles. Yes. It is really weird that he's in the movie, like getting like close-ups and shit. I would say for a good 15 minutes until he talks. So I was just like, oh, this character is not going to talk.
Me too.
But,
maybe.
All right, he does play. I think you should do the harmonica list now, Tim, and I'm going to ruin your life by telling you the movie's reason why he's in.
Yeah.
So we see in one of his scenes before he talks is he sits in the bathroom on the toilet with his pants on, playing the harmonica, and then when he's done, he hides the harmonica and then it comes out.
Yes. Didn't wash his hands. He's using that harmonica every night.
He actually wasn't shitting, so maybe it's okay.
I don't know.
All right. Tim, what's your list?
Maybe it was a contract dispute. He was like, I'm not talking today until my contract is worked out. Anyway.
Oh, you're saying, okay.
That's funny.
Tim, do the list. What's his harmonica list? Why does he play harmonica in the bathroom?
He would play in the closet, but Mary, his wife, was very upset about all the poop in their shoes. Okay. Told you, a lot of poop jokes.
Oh, Jesus.
He always gets yelled at by the neighbors when he poops in the backyard while playing the harmonica. So, number 3. He once heard that Bob Dylan wrote his best songs while experiencing painful diarrhea. There's the 3 reasons. Diarrhea. That's why he sounded like that.
It is funny you mentioned the closet thing, because there is the joke where when the daughters go, they make a joke about dad coming out of the closet.
They do,
and she's like, "That's a different thing."
Yeah,
so we got the coming out of the closet joke. We got the Grundle guy. There's
edgy jokes.
Edgy. This movie's very edgy.
Mary agrees to be on the ballot, and she does have.
Well, she can't get off. Yeah.
Yeah, and the daughters make fun of Brittany. It's Bloodworth. Brittany Bloodworth is the mayor's daughter, and they make fun of her bowl haircut because they're rivals now, political rivals. Yep. And Mary's like, "Don't do that." They seem worried though. The mayor's like, he tells the guys that work for him, "You got to get out there and hand out flyers and everything. We don't want her to win." And
well, he's run uncontested for the last 3, and also this is when we're beginning to get a hint that maybe there's some shenanigans.
Yeah.
We don't find out, but like he stands up in a meeting, is like, "How about all this stuff that like we've been stealing from the budget?"
Right,
like,
right.
Okay.
He goes, "We need to stop her. We need to crush her creamy frosting." And he says, "We need to mash her marshmallow mango." Didn't you hear these?
What else? No.
Stomp her strawberry swirl.
All right, what else, Tim?
Lambast her lemon lime. Come on.
What else?
Then I fell asleep. But you didn't hear these?
No, that's weird.
He's like, "This is the worst thing to happen, Bridgestone." Is it Bridgestone?
Bridgeville.
In Bridgeville. Since the dog catcher got run over by that trolley car in 1925 and cut off all 3 of his legs, leaving him with only one.
Was the dog catcher himself a dog?
Yeah, back then. No.
Oh, wow, that's a fucking traitor.
It was before that, it was a chicken, so... And after that, it was a chicken again. That dog was an anomaly.
Do we mention that most of the cast of this movie, with the exception of Judd Nelson and Leah Thompson, are chickens? Even her children were half duck because, of course, their father was Howard the Duck.
Every time they coughed, feathers came out.
Yeah, it was really weird. So much of this movie was just coughing, too. So they have the election, all these different characters. Like, you kind of get the sense, like, people like, her husband in his first line is like, "I'm going to vote for you."
Yeah.
And so you're like, oh, maybe she's going to like win the elections thing. Her family doesn't really campaign. No. The next morning she shows up to work, and various people whose character arcs were kind of missing. Like the woman who wanted to go back to college.
Yeah. Who is she?
Like that just got dropped.
Claire.
But she's like, "Yeah, I didn't vote for you because I was busy." So everyone, and she's like, and you get the sense maybe that, Mary, what's her name?
That this town is full of losers.
Well, it's definitely somebody on one website I went to figured out at this town of 2000 how many people voted, because they mentioned she got, I think, 33% of the vote, and the other guy got 83% more. They did they did the math, and basically only about 200 something people voted out of 2000.
Nice,
yeah, which is probably better than real elections. So anyway, she doesn't win. The existing mayor wins, although she does get like 30 something votes.
And this mayor celebrates by eating his 12 cupcakes for lunch. He's just like shoving them in his mouth.
And we should mention he's an older guy, and he's a bit. He and his daughter are both a bit out of shape. Let's be gentle.
This whole town has diabetes. They come to that shop every day, eat cupcakes, apple scrapple, and pancakes.
The only business that's really doing well is the wheelchair store, because everybody's getting their legs sawed off.
So no.
So in a scene that was actually kind of shocking to me, because they tried to make it funny, he needs
the Heimlich.
He starts choking on one of the cupcakes, and he's yelling to his daughter at the bowl cut, "I need the Heimlich." She's like, "Oh!" And she gets behind him, and he falls on her, and like dies. And it's like they play it like it's funny. I'm like, I'm sorry. I know that this guy's a bad guy, although we don't know how bad he is yet. No. And I know we're supposed to like not like them, but like that's traumatic.
Because do you hear what the police said later? Did you catch it?
What?
They're like, did he die choking? And the other cop says, more like internal damage. I'm like, you're joking about the fact that she rammed her head into his chest and killed him? He said that. I'm not making that up.
Yeah, I know. It's like more like internal organ failure.
Yes.
Yeah.
Ironically,
so
George,
dies.
the cupcake he choked on, I got to tell you this. It had the ironic name of the Mama Cass elderberry cupcake.
Oh, shit. Why elderberry? Why elderberry?
Had to have some flavors there.
Why not the ham?
It's got a pit in it, George. See?
Oh, okay.
A ham cupcake? No way.
He fucking dies.
Yes.
And it's like weird in this PG movie with like these... This movie's tone is so odd because they're not that goofy.
No.
It's all like... It's so pleasant and just kind of like you expect this could be wacky and never really gets wacky.
No.
It's all very plausible in a weird way. This guy dies horribly. They take him away. And because they hadn't yet sworn in the mayor, they're kind of like, well, what do we do?
Yep.
So they have a town meeting.
Mm-hmm.
And then we meet, I mean, maybe we met him briefly, but we meet Grundle. He's the main bad guy. And he's a used car salesman type. His eyebrows and his mustache are both like perfect little like triangles. Yes. It's weird. Very weird looking guy. And he's like, hey, he comes up to Mayor Cupcake Maroney. And he's like, hey, I'm going to be your assistant. And you just listen to me. It's just really a figurehead thing.
Right.
And so she finds out he's super sleazy and condescending. Yep. And she's like, so as the mayor, I could fire you, right? He's like, yeah. And she fires him. Yep. And she's going to be the real mayor.
And he crushes a cupcake in his hand, close up.
It's so funny.
And you know that,
yeah. And it's like he looks at it too. He's really thinking because he wants to eat the cupcakes. Everyone in this town is addicted to these cupcakes. And he's looking at it. It's this close and he crushes him. Like that was you had a lot of choices.
You know which cupcake that was?
Was that the
ironically named Titan Strawberry Submersible Cupcake? Sorry. Canceled now.
No, they were rich people.
They're rich people.
I think the world would be better if more rich people got crushed in submersibles. Just saying. Sad about the kid, though.
You're right for sure. Oh, yeah. Innocent bystander.
Yep.
So she's mayor because she's second in command.
Yep.
She starts to feel her powers.
Oh, we mentioned an important thing here. She refuses to go into the mayoral office.
Oh, yeah.
So she meets with the guy who does the bookkeeping out in front. And like we eventually learn the reason why she won't go in the office is because we learned in a voiceover, which Tim and I didn't mention, that she was raised by her grandmother in this town. Mm-hmm. And when her grandmother died, she was buried in the potter's field. So we actually see these shots like in montages of her putting flowers on this unmarked grave, which is kind of sad.
Yes.
She had gone previously as an adult. She's lived her whole life in this town. Mm-hmm. Can I please put up a headstone for my grandmother? Like, no. Because if we say yes to you, we got to say yes to everybody. Yep. Sign that the government's bad. We learn other stuff. We learn like the government is they're putting limits on different people. Like they can't have big signs. They can't open up businesses.
Steal their guitars.
They're grifting the fuck out of shit. They're stealing guitars from the antique guy. They're buying cars for everybody. They're basically the budget of this town is fucked.
I do want to mention.
Remember, this is a town of 2,000 people. They bought like a sports car and shit.
Yeah. I want to mention one bad thing this movie did do.
What?
It's okay if you didn't notice it. It's a trope in American white movies. And they kind of fix it at the end, but it starts out this way. And this is what it's called. It's called the magic Negro trope.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
In many movies. And they do it in this movie because she goes to this man who's African-American. She's like, you want to help me with these books? And he just like helps her quietly. I will say they do fix it. I don't know if you care about spoilers, but
I read that on a site, and honestly, like that character didn't impress upon me enough to even notice that was a problem.
Well, he gets
like she borrows books from him. Yeah, she has a couple guys help her. Like it is, and I am happy to see. I did look at the actual logistics of the population of Bridgeport. Mm-hmm. It's like 56% white and like 36% black. So I'm like, good, they had some diversity here.
Yep. And she brings them cupcakes. Yeah. She brings everybody cupcakes.
She brings every cupcake. She does everything cupcakes.
Diabetes.
Trying to kill more of her rivals, perhaps.
She's checking the books. Grundle's a baddie. Oh, they paid.
Yeah, she finds out
her daughter plays the actual song from Breakfast Club. Don't you forget about me. They've spent money on that.
Weird scene.
It is. Yeah. So Judd Nelson can watch.
It has nothing to do with anything. Her one daughter, her real life daughter, wants to be a musician. And so there's a scene where Judd Nelson is filming with a camcorder, her playing Don't You Forget About Me. And I will say, and I don't want to be a jerk, it didn't even sound that good.
I liked it okay, but yeah.
I mean, I love the original.
Yeah.
But it was funny. It's like a wink, wink, nudge. Like, hey, remember when he was... And this scene exists only later to remind her that she has a video camcorder, because this plays a part in Grundle's undoing.
Right.
Because like the one daughter gets her involved in this, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like by putting on the other daughter who's the musician. That's really kind of side thing. And then the other daughter who plays football, that has nothing to do with anything either. We just see her once kick the ball and she's like, "Hey mom, look what and her mom's busy being mayor." And she's like, Yep. I missed it. And yeah, and she misses her daughter's concert later. She sees the tape of it. It's just whatever.
And did you hear who their rival town is though, George?
Shelbyville.
Was this a joke? Shelbyville.
Well, it was
Simpsons.
I know. I was like Simpsons.
Is this where Homer lives? Because if he lived in a town where the mayor became Mayor Cupcake, he'd lose his mind. So,
it does Homer though. Homer's, as we know, is a donut aficionado.
Cupcakes are just as good, I think.
Would he be? He's like, cupcakes go inside donuts. Maybe he would just he would put the cupcake inside, because they were mini cupcakes. Put the cupcake inside the donut hole, and he would be twice as big and die twice as soon as he would if he were in a cartoon anyway.
True.
Homer's only supposed to be 40 years old.
Wow,
that's insane. And when the show started, he was 38. 38.
You know too much about this show.
I know a lot about Simpsons.
So yeah, she's busy being mayor and she can't juggle all this stuff and gets upset.
Because she's an honest person and she discovers the town is fucked because these people have done the money. So she does various things.
Funny things.
Again, well, they're not funny things.
The cops got to ride a bike because they got to cut down the car. It's funny. They're like,
yeah, because the cars are gas guzzling, so the cops ride a bike. She okays the guy in black, Bart, to spend all day parked down 100 yards up the road from the speed trap with a sign that says "Slow down, speed trap," because this guy has no job, despite the fact he has a white van he sells hard candy out of. He just spends all day. This is a victory for him to spend all day holding a paper sign that says "Watch out, speed trap."
That's it. You got to watch out for people who got that much time.
Yeah. What else does she do? She turns off every other street light.
Yeah.
She stops garbage pickup.
There's rats everywhere.
People have to bring the garbage. People have to bring garbage to dump themselves. She repossesses the mayor's sports car. Yep. Even though the mayor's dead, she takes it from his bowl cut daughter.
So all hilarious. Because there's no crime. There's no crime, but as soon as her husband needs a bicycle, he arrests someone. That's like a funny scene. It's like, gotta walk you with my bike.
Yep. And we hear him listing off presidents' names because that's his way of dealing with the rage that threatens to consume him. And he tells her later, he's like, "I got up to Monroe." She's like, "Oh, is that good?" He's like, "President number 8." So that's like, whoa, shit, buddy.
Wait till he gets to Kennedy. So her one daughter puts her on Facebook. She's like, "Mom, you got to be on Facebook and Twitter." So that must
be MySpace. And MySpace, they say.
And Grindr. Come on, you got to get on these things. So she's on Facebook, and all her like racist uncles, send her messages. Tell her she's got to get back in the kitchen, get right with the Lord. And she sees reviews for her cupcakes, George. You want to hear a few of them?
Oh, let's hear a few of these reviews, Tim.
She's very upset. One lady's upset that her husband joined a cult after eating the oddly named Jelly Bean Jonestown Taffy cupcake.
Oh, shit. I bet they end badly for that lady.
And another guy, her husband was upset. He was shot on the news after eating the inappropriately named Jack Ruby Rhubarb Ripple cupcake. These are great.
Damn it. This is good.
And then one person died in a Volkswagen Bug after eating the ironically named Blueberry Bundy cupcake. So anyway, there's a lot of complaints about her cupcakes.
I don't get that one. Did Ted Bundy kill someone in a...
He drove one. That was his car.
Oh,
that's in a museum. It is like a serial killer museum.
I went to the serial killer museum in New Orleans.
Oh, did you see?
I'm sorry.
Car?
It was the Museum of Death. Museum of Death. Yeah, they had a serial killer section, which is why I was confused. You know what they had in that museum, Tim?
Of death?
One of Kevorkian's machines.
Ooh.
Yep, they got mad when I put it on someone though. Yeah, they were like, "Hey, Mister,
you don't know how to work that."
He said, "Watch me."
So
she's ruffling feathers, this Mayor Cupcake. She gets some notoriety.
From a bad
There is a
place.
scene where she is singing a song in the cafe, and like some famous singer who I didn't recognize was there.
Yeah.
We won't mention it, but she appears in the Greta Von Susteren show.
Fox. I was like,
Which is Fox. I know. I was like, as like this playing herself, and they're talking about like, you ran for mayor and stuff. So she gets.
Well, you get that's why I'm suspicious. Fox News and basically government bad. So
no, but she makes government good.
She does. Yeah, I can see it both ways.
Yeah. Yep. And
she does get right with the Lord.
Then there is like another town meeting, and
the meeting is about what? Do we get ahead of ourselves here?
Well, I'm skipping because a lot of bullshit. Grundle basically is trying to get her to. Oh no, wait, I forget what. No, Grundle just attacks her.
There's a meeting about something, but Grundle says you shouldn't be mayor because you dropped out of high school because you were pregnant, and her husband Judd, the cop, gets up and punches him. So he's like, "I'm going to sue you if you don't drop out." So there's your plot.
Well, Judd Nelson, like it's actually pretty good scene. He hands the gun to another cop and he just punches him in the face. I'm like, damn. When he pulls the gun off, I'm like, what? Is this movie going to take a turn? But he just hands it. So, but then, because it's not just like, so, you know, you get the feeling this is a closed town. Nobody's going to like back up Grundle. But the next day, a reporter comes up to Mayor Cupcake on the street.
Right at the train tracks.
And was like,
on the street.
At the train tracks. Yep. And she's like, your husband, Grundle says your husband punched him. Mm-hmm. And how did you feel? She's like, pretty good, actually.
I know. I'm like, come on.
I have on tape. So I'm like, what are you, stupid? Lawsuit. So so Grundle's like, I'm going to sue you and get your husband thrown out of the police department and arrested unless you agree to appoint me as the deputy mayor. And then when I'm deputy mayor, you step aside and then I'll take back over and stuff. And she's like, okay.
Because meantime, with all this pressure, everybody says, your cupcakes, they're not as good anymore. That was the other
people
thing.
Keep telling her. People are like,
they're like, your shrimp cupcakes, they have shell in them. They didn't used to. Your asparagus cupcakes, they make my pee smell. Yeah.
She's like, I can't help that. That's a genetic quirk.
So anyway, just people randomly on the street. Just like, cupcakes suck lately.
Yeah, they literally, that is the thing. Like, that's Grundle's big insult. It's like, and I had your cupcake. It was gritty. Yeah. I rubbed it all over my perineum.
So they go to do this, right? Or what happens?
Well, wait, but then, you know, so before she has this meeting at the office, like she's been sad because she's been missing all the stuff, like her daughter kicking the football and her other daughter singing the meta song to Judd Nelson. And she's watching and you see her kind of like laugh watching this video. Like she's like, oh, so she goes and sees Grundle and he threatens her with this thing and she agrees, okay, I'll appoint you the mayor. She's like, but don't you feel bad about all the money you steal from these people? Yeah. He's like, they're a bunch of idiots. Yes. I steal from them because they're dumb and I need to take their money. They're stupid idiots.
I piss on their future graves. He's just like a two-dimensional villain all of a sudden.
Yeah, he's like literally twirling his mustache. A lot of the scenes do take place in the train tracks. Suddenly there's a woman tied up in the train tracks and he's like, yeah.
And when the train comes into the station, everybody runs away. It's very real.
So if you could guess what's happening here, folks, wouldn't you know it? She taped that motherfucker saying that
illegally.
So at this, it is illegal. So at this speech, at the meeting where they're going to appoint Grundle as the deputy mayor, she's like, Grundle's like, I have a movement. Seems Mayor Cupcake wants to appoint a deputy mayor. She's like, yes, I do. And she goes up and she gets the guy that has been helping her, the book guy. And she's like, I want you to be the mayor. He's like, and Grundle's like, this is outrageous. And she plays the video and then the cops arrest Grundle.
Yep.
And by arrest him, they actually drag him out in the back and they shoot him in the head. I guess he steals, but yeah, it's kind of nebulous. But they literally take away in handcuffs.
So they get to pumpkin chunkins again? Chunkin' buckins? She gets back to making cupcakes and handing them out.
Our cupcakes get good. She has a new cupcake. This one's named for Bart because he was waiting for this the whole time. It was called the Walnut Law Nut.
Oh, no. Really?
Yep. That was what it was called.
I don't know. See, that guy never took off his dark coat, so I don't know what's up with him.
I just assumed he was going to go what was his deal?
I think he was a leftover goth. Because what year was
there
goth?
Was the scene 90s? When they showed them voting where he's walking in to vote, and there is like a young goth guy coming out, and they kind of look at each other. So you actually might be right. Did you catch that?
I did not.
There's like a young guy wearing like a mesh shirt, and like I'm like, what is this?
That's right.
It's a very weird scene.
Well,
so now she is the mayor, and everything is better. And then her daughter's like, "Are you gonna tell? You're gonna tell?" She's like, "What are you gonna tell me? Like, we put your name in for governor."
Right.
And like, what? And then the last scene of this movie is just a far shot of the White House with the weakest ass Obama impression I've ever heard. Be like, well, what doesn't she want? She said no. Doesn't she want to be after being governor? Doesn't she want to work for me? So it's like,
yeah.
I guess she becomes the governor of Delaware, and then she eventually becomes like Secretary of War under Obama.
And Chuck's punk.
She controls all those drones. She's like, I know you've had a lot of success with your drone program, Mr. President, but have you thought about punkin' chunkin'? Oh, well, why don't you tell me more, Mayor Cupcake? I mean, Governor, Minister of War Cupcake. And she uses it, and she just starts bombing the people of Europe with pumpkins.
Don't get ahead of yourself. Are we going to revenge already?
All right, yeah, let's go.
Wherever you are, wherever you're hiding, I'll find you.
Revenge.
One of us will die.
Is that because we got it? That guy, the guy with the goth suit, he dresses basically the way people dress in North Korea, except it's usually gray. So he always wakes up every day with a distinct feeling he's in North Korea, right? That's why he's dressed that way. And
that's why does that lead into, you think, his need to prevent people from going to speed traps? Does he think the speed trap is the demilitarized zone between North and South Korea?
Perhaps, yes. And he wants to put a sign up, say, please don't go there.
Please don't go.
You'll get shot.
Yep.
And basically he just thinks this town is a communist, gray communist place where nothing happens, which is basically true.
It's weird that he's like...
It's like a alternate reality, just to keep people a little bit happy.
Yep.
Yeah.
Good movie. Good story.
And what was his cupcake name?
The Walnut Law Nut.
Yeah.
Or it might be Law Nut Walnut. I forgot which, but those are the two
Korea,
words.
That stands for great second in command.
Wow.
Honored second in command. See,
who knew?
It's this whole delusion. We did it, George.
You know what I say to that, Tim?
But
yeah, but then no, I don't want to ruin this. Let's end this.
Wow. I thought we'd talk about the movie. No, not at all. So
we talked. Here's the thing. I'm going to say something controversial, Tim. I think this movie was, in a sense, too good for Seddy Bimco.
Oh, I don't think so. Come on.
Like, it was...
When would you sit down to watch that?
That's the whole thing, though. Like, it is a well-made, well-constructed movie that I can't figure out who the target audience was for it all.
Nope.
Like, it's not wacky. It's just kind of... It almost gets there, like the guy who can never sell stuff, he finally sells or something.
The plane.
Like it's just like the characters are half. I guess maybe it's not that good. It's just, I don't know. Just
okay.
It was definitely not bad enough that I was like up. Like my wife afterwards, I come downstairs because I was telling her before. I'm like, oh man, this movie's gonna suck.
Yes.
It's got Leah Thompson and Judd Nelson. It's called Mayor Cupcake. She's like, oh, it's gonna be terrible. I'm like, I know. And after I watched it, I came downstairs. She's like, how was it? I'm like, it was okay. I kind of liked it. Yeah. I want to watch it again, probably.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Your brain broke.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll do my story because it's gone so long.
All right,
it's gone so
story.
long. It's short.
So long. All right. Ooh.
Well.
Are you up to the one-word story yet that you've always been promising?
I'm trying to get there.
Let's see. All right. I'm going to count every word.
Yeah, thanks. Start my music.
Start your music.
So this town.
1, 2.
This town gets ready in the sequel. The sequel's all about the big pumpkin chunkin' festival.
Oh, I bet I have to change mine. All right.
And Greg, they arrested.
Who is Greg?
Greg, the bad guy.
Greg Grundle.
Okay. He's out of prison. He paid off. He's crooked. So he goes to the festival, and he sabotages the pumpkin chunkin', and he aims it right at Shelbyville. Right at Shelbyville's rival cupcake shop called Cup My Cakes. So So
come on.
Many pumpkins are launched, crash down, destroy Cupcakes, and Greg left evidence pointing to the fact that Mayor Cupcake did this as a way to destroy her main competitor. And war breaks out between the two towns.
A war?
Between Shelbyville and, what was this town? Bridgeport?
Bridgeville.
So Shelbyville was coincidentally having their big watermelon festival. And they started shelling watermelons towards Mary's Cupcake shop. And then they destroyed it. It was a big casualty of the war. Yes.
I can't believe you used the term shelling and you didn't use something like walnuts instead.
They're small.
Yeah, but like they
were winging watermelons at the town.
Winging watermelons.
Some wayward watermelons hit neighboring Tommyville.
Nice alliteration.
Who was having their annual sheep festival. And in fact, they're having their sheep shooting event. And they had to launch sheep into the air. And of course, they shot it. Those sheep at Shelbyville and Mary's Cupcake shop also. So, in the battle, Mayor Albert Peach, who was the man who became mayor, he appointed Mary. In the battle.
Wait,
sorry.
Who the fuck is Albert Peach?
He became mayor at the end.
Who is he?
He's
Mary's not mayor anymore?
He's the African American man.
His name was Albert Peach?
She let him be mayor. Remember? She appointed him mayor. That was the whole trick at the end.
No, he was deputy mayor. He was deputy mayor.
Okay.
And then she would resign. She's still mayor.
Well,
Tim.
Albert Peach, he gets killed. He gets killed in this battle.
Oh, no.
And Mary is called upon again to be Mayor Cupcake. But all the volunteers... What?
Yeah, or she was mayor all along.
Yeah. But all the volunteer military in town have lost so many soldiers in this war. She also gets elected as General Cupcake. So now she's in charge.
General Cupcake.
She learns that Greg and his pals have misused military funds to buy themselves cars and drums, and they only have a few catapults to escalate the war and launch cows and or elephants from the circus into the enemy territory. And Quail, the man who owned the antique store, has been quiet all this time, and he reveals that he has an antique weapon known as blankets infected with measles and chickenpox. So...
Not even smallpox. No. Chickenpox.
They know that Shelbyville and Tommyville don't believe in vaccinations. So...
Oh, good. This is... Listeners, I apologize for what Tim is doing here.
The only problem is that Quail doesn't want to sell these. He's a hoarder. He wants to keep these blankets.
That's true.
So General Cupcake orders her football-playing daughter to break into his shop while her rock and roll-playing daughters are playing music out front. And, she steals these blankets. I don't know why I did that. That plot point has no point in it. So
it's also it's also offensive.
They launch blankets in enemy towns and spread the disease of chickenpox across Baltimore and other towns.
Oh, Baltimore? Wait, you're doing Maryland now, you fucking idiot.
So
Tim,
there's a lot of shenanigans. You ruined it.
Yeah,
there's a lot of shenanigans.
Like you said this was a short story.
Wait.
Yeah, I kept it real short. There's definitely a weird discourse into Maryland for some reason.
Greg wants to be the general. He says, you can't be general because you got pregnant in high school. And Mary's husband marches up to Greg and shoves one of those blankets infected with syphilis right down Greg's throat. And
syphilis now?
Syphilis.
Wow.
But he doesn't die of syphilis. He dies of complications from diabetes of all cupcakes. So everyone cheers. They play...
Who's getting revenge here?
Well, she was getting revenge on Shelbyville. But the war's ended. They play that simple Mind song called Don't You Forget About Me. Sequel's called General Cupcake. These rum ripple cupcakes don't run. There you go.
All right.
It was a quick one. Who got revenge on who? Who you ask? She became General Cupcake and got revenge on Shelbyville. And Greg for starting the war. Greg died of syphilis. And diabetes. Double whammy. She got him.
Double whammy, yeah.
Because he insulted her twice about her high school years.
All
insulting.
Right. I'm gonna keep mine.
Let's play your music. Get out of here.
Play my music. Fuck, Mayor Cupcake. So, I'm gonna mind that we know this movie ends with her apparently becoming governor and apparently being invited but turning down Obama's White House. This occurs before those events happen. Those are kind of like almost like, midway credit scene sort of things. Instead, pick up pretty much shortly after this movie. Greg Grundle has been, arrested and presumably summarily executed on the train tracks which is, the police force is very loyal to Mayor Cupcake. Really, the only person who's kind of left on the bad guy's side at this point is the daughter, Stephanie Bloodfart, I think her name is.
Bloodworth.
Yeah. Oh, Bloodworth. That's it. Yeah. And I mean, honestly, she has a pretty good axe to grind.
Yeah, she's evil.
There is kind of an indication that she is having an affair with Grundle, but they kind of don't really do much with that. That's right. So the man she's like got as a fuck buddy has been shot in the back of the head on the train tracks. Her own father fucking died eating one of her cupcakes. And she was pinned beneath his obese corpse as he collapsed on her.
It was a joke death.
Yeah, they made it a joke death, and everybody thought it was funny.
Right on top of her face. But you know what? Like, he drooled right into her mouth.
yeah, that wasn't... Like, she sat there, like, she was there for hours.
When a corpse drools into your mouth, George, Urban Dictionary says that's called a mayor cupcake.
Mayor cupcake.
Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt your story.
Yeah, you sure as hell do. So she decides what she's going to do is every single day, because the center of town, the de facto office of Mayor Maroney, is the cupcake shop. Every single day, Stephanie Bloodworth goes there and just kind of ruins breakfast.
Ooh.
Because that's, of course, the best day to do. Yeah. Well, various different ways. She goes to the town's only Mexican restaurant the night before and loads up on bean burritos and makes unsightly odors emanate from the bathroom. She orders a lot of cupcakes and then just doesn't pick them up.
Poop jokes.
You did poop jokes already.
She doesn't pick them up. There's just piles of cupcakes.
Yep, she gets a button. She just doesn't pick them up, or until she shows up and she kind of unplugs the coffee machine. She does this and she makes it known she's doing this, and she skirts the law. After the mysterious death of Grundle, the cops can't do really anything because people are being like, okay, you killed the one guy, but you got to keep your nose kind of clean. And she's really just playing the last nerve of Mayor Maroney and her husband, Judd Nelson, the cop.
Yes.
And every day he gets a little bit further on his list of presidents. One day when she comes up and let me tell you, Tim, she's playing music loudly on her cell phone without headphones during the breakfast rush hour.
Ooh. In 2012?
She ate a lot of salami. Yeah, she was an early adopter of technology. She ate a lot of salami and was belching with her mouth open, so the air was being filled with salami burps.
Does she loudly yell, "I draw boners"? Not even ironically meaning boners are.
Not even, because she's not even nothing about. She just goes, "I draw boners." She draws boners on. You know how some restaurants put down the placemats?
Yes,
she's just drawing little penises on all of them.
Everyone.
And he finally this day he gets up to Trump. And know what he does? He snaps because there's no more presidents for him to get to at this point. Because this is, before Biden was elected. I guess actually he gets up to
2012. He gets up to Obama. That's all.
Yeah, right. He gets up to Obama. Well, this has gone on for years.
Okay.
Let's go get to Trump. He grabs a chair of a table, just breaks it off, and he snaps and he beats her to death.
Oh.
Just in a scene of shocking brutality. A similar scene of weird violence, like what we saw with scene where her actual father dies on her. We're like, is this funny? He's beating her and her head goes into the cupcakes and jelly squirting out of the cupcakes and jelly squirting out of her skull. And we see just jelly and blood hitting Judd Nelson's mustache as he just beats her. And the movie ends with her dead, her head caved in.
Oh.
And in this distance, we hear sirens coming.
And
you know what the movie's called?
Killer Cupcake. No, that's not good.
The Breakfast Club.
Oh, The Breakfast Club. Got it right away. The Breakfast Club. Wow.
Yep, that's the end. All right. Yeah. Wow. Yep. Long walk to make a simple pun. All right, Tim.
We've talked a long time.
Do we get any mail, Tim? Do we get any mail?
I don't want mail. Look at how long we talked. If we have mail, okay, I'll refresh it. I'll refresh to see if there's mail. No mail.
I'm going to refresh to see if the Historical Society has written back to me. They have not.
Don't want mail.
But Yep. Okay.
What was I going to say to you? Something important. Oh, you don't read I did something stupid. I'll share it here.
Oh, let's hear it.
My wife went on a trip, and sometimes she does, and she works in the food-related industry. I got up this morning because she came home late on the plane. I got up this morning, package of cookies on the table. Oh, she brought cookies back. So I opened it up while I'm making breakfast. Actually, I'll admit, they're tiny. They're little cookies, and I ate one. I'm like,
oh my god,
these
are weed cookies.
Doesn't taste great. No, she wouldn't know they have those on the airplane. So it doesn't. I mean, it's fine. It's pretty bland. So then we sit down.
I know what this is.
I said, I tried these cookies. She goes, those are dog cookies for the dog.
Wait, how do they taste? Are they meaty?
They're just bland. I was like, that wasn't very good. A tiny bit of sweetness from like a yogurt topping.
Oh, your poor dog. Gotta give that dog better cookies.
I gave her one. She didn't eat it yet.
She's like, I saw you eat those cookies. You ruined that whole cookie thing for me. Tim, that's a great story. That's what we should be leading off with.
That's what she left off. Well, you got to get to the end. You guys, like you all do. Okay. Yeah. What? Yeah. So follow us on social medias. Go look at what I drew for this week's episode. That's because we have a blog at Seddy Bimco, therevengepart2.com. And we're all on the socials. Tell your mom to please listen to us.
Your mom specifically. You know who we're talking to.
Word of mouth is the best advertisement I've heard. Next week I get to pick.
Yep. What is it?
Double, triple checked it, George. It was filmed in Wisconsin.
Wisconsin, huh?
And I've seen half of this movie, but it is amazing. It's on Tubi. It's called Bog. B-O-G.
B-O-G?
Bog. Wisconsin.
Is it? First off, I have to admit, I didn't know there were bogs in Wisconsin.
Oh, it was filmed there. It's basically a pond.
Is it a horror film?
It wants to be.
Uh-oh.
It's monster.
Is this the movie that came out in 1984? Wait. Bog, Wisconsin's forgotten yet beloved horror.
Yes.
This must be the one. 78.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
70s, George. We're 2 years after 1 year after Star Wars, George. Can't wait to talk about Star Wars.
Can't wait.
So should we say goodbye and that's it? Have you said anything?
Let's say goodbye. I've said all I need to say.
Mayor Cupcake. Check it out.
Man.
It's free everywhere. Goodbye.
It's the best movie ever.
So long. Goodbye.
Bye, everybody.
This has been a Pity Party Line production.
Party line. It's a party line.
I love to watch her sitting there. I'm just wild for Barbara Walters, the queen of early morning TV. I never thought